Welcome everybody. Will Jones, Elevate Title, owner and founder, here with the extraordinary agent Jeffrey Coriolan. It's been a long time coming. Been a
I'm
long time
excited.
coming.
I'm excited to be here. Super excited for today's topic.
You set me up
I
one time.
did.
I came to your open house, so I figured today would be a great day to
But
repay you.
but your setup is like 100 times better. Like this is beautiful, man. I'm excited.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. I
So go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
I was gonna say that I think being spontaneous is one of the best things, especially in the space of real estate. Being in the moment. Like that seller. I think also why I say that is because we never know what's gonna happen in a transaction.
That's true.
We think that everything's smooth. We about to close in 2, 3 weeks, and then boom, this comes up, that comes up.
The bottom
Dealing with a
fall out.
gas line issue right now that I never heard of before. Dealt with a septic tank issue last week, and real estate's just one of those spontaneous business. So putting people on the spot is just what we do.
That and getting put on the spot is what
Exactly,
happens to us a lot of times.
and it's how we handle it as professionals.
Yes. So speaking of handling, not where I wanted to go, but you kind of opened the door. Speaking of handling things professionally, how important that to handle things professionally in this business where you know so many people is such, I mean, what is there, 60,000 agents in our market, something
South
crazy like
Florida,
that?
60,000 agents.
So
South
you
Florida.
think it's a big market with that many people, but the people that do business, you kind of know who they are and you see them and you run into them a lot. So how does that play into, how you move as a real estate agent?
I think one things is professionalism is definitely number one. How you treat people, understanding that today you could be the listing agent, but tomorrow you may be the buyer's agent representing either a buyer and investor. And I think also not taking things personal. I noticed that in the last couple of years, probably because of where the market was, 2025 was an extreme tough market for real estate professionals. And I can definitely say that you're seeing a lot of people's emotions. And I don't know if it's tied to getting the transaction closed or if it's tied into making the money.
The
So I
money.
would definitely say don't get personally involved. Understand that it's a transaction. It is going to close if we do the right things and we keep our heads leveled. And I also believe staying extremely professional, staying knowledgeable, staying knowledgeable in the fields that get assistance where you need assistance needed. Like, for example, your title company, your lenders, and having some amazing partners, like, for example, I said earlier, septic tank issue, gas line issue, creating relationships. And I think that's the next thing is creating powerful relationships. So for myself, I'm a powerful listing agent and I want to work with agents that I know that are going to close transactions. So I try to build rapport with people that are out there that are closers. One of the one things you said is that there's 60,000 agents in South Florida, and I believe in the 80-20 rule. 20% of us do 80%
80% of
of
the
the
business.
work. Exactly. So making sure that if an offer comes by and I know who the person is, I'm gonna kind of ensure that my seller kind of navigates themselves towards them because they have the background, they have the performance, they have the experience, and they're gonna get the transaction closed.
So on that note, there is a flip side to that coin. How do you navigate an offer from an agent that you haven't had such a professional or a good experience with?
So I've been noticing now that I don't know if it's a new thing, but people are researching people, and it's something that I've never been prone to. But like for example, I did a deal that we closed about 3 weeks ago, and the guy calls me, and he's like, "Hey, how can we put this deal together? I googled you. I noticed that you're a powerful listing agent." And as I speak to my other friends, I've noticed that they've been researching people. So I was on the phone with one guy that's from my office one time, and he called me about something and he brought up the same exact topic. He says, I researched the agent. I said, why are people researching people? He's like, you never know who's on the other side. You don't look people up. You don't look at their numbers. You don't look at what they do. And I said, no, not really. What I kind of do is I kind of take the person for face value. I
Right.
understand that we're licensed professionals in a space that we're in it for our own particular reasons. Some people are in it financially. Some people are in it because they need to support their family. Some people are in it because they love real estate, and I just take it for that. What I try to do is assist how I can best assist. If it's a brand new agent, if it's an experienced agent, if it's an agent that I've been dying to work with, maybe it's an agent that I've been dying to work with because I want to make sure that I build that rapport. What I can definitely say is that there has been some opportunities out there where I kind of feel like I do need to throw my name out there because the agent is not the savviest and they think that they're going to maneuver their way. Like, for example, I had a property, we were on the market for like 480. We ended up selling the property for like 515, right? But why did we sell the property for 515 in the buyer's market? They submitted an offer to us, and then they thought they were going to lowball us after the inspection period. And I was like, no, brother, like that's not happening. Like that
Happens
may
all the
have been your
time.
game plan to get the offer accepted, but it's not happening. We'll just put the property back on the market. And I think that's where the opportunity of abundance comes in. Like I'm not dying to close a transaction, nor is my seller, you know. I think what we're looking to do is we're looking to make sure that everyone wins. So if you thought your game plan was to give us the best offer to get your offer accepted and then try to lowball us, we can put the property back on the market and wait because we're good here. You know what I mean? So I think when it goes back to building relationships, it's letting people know that it must work for both parties. And I'm doing a deal right now. Let's talk about that. Like originally, my sellers were adamant about getting a certain price. We got an offer. It wasn't what they were looking for, $25,000 below. And now they declined the counter that we sent to them. And guess what? Now the sellers are like, what do you think we should do? And I said, well, we're $25,000 apart. You guys want it full ass. It's not a full ass market. So what we need to do is we probably need to be a little bit more reasonable, only because, ladies and gentlemen, is that because we're in a buyer's market right now, you know? So we need to be a little bit more flexible as far as what we want to do. And their response is, you're the professional, do whatever you need to do and get us closed. You know what I mean? So having those type of relationships with people really helps to get us over the hurdle.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in this market right now that we're in, where we need one of another, like for example, I'm calling an agent pre-showing. I'm calling the agent during the showing. I'm calling the agent after the showing because I want to make sure that if there's anything that I need to do to get the deal closed, I'm going to do that. And I would say, what, 2, 3 years ago, we weren't really doing that. You know, we would show
Right.
our listings, and if they submitted an offer, they submitted an offer. And if they didn't, who cares, you know? But really letting the agent know that I probably need them more than they need me right about now. And I think having good relationships and being a professional really helps with that.
That's that's powerful words.
It was a
Like
lot. It was.
it's, but it's powerful and it is true. Um, and I'll tell you a little situation. I went to Texas last week to a mastermind with my
Mm-hmm.
business coach, and different market. We were right outside of Houston, in a little small town
Are
called
they
Conroe.
are they like a seller's market still, kind of over there?
It's weird. Like so, a lot of people. There were some people from Michigan, some people from Houston. So different areas. But where we were was Conroe, Texas. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
small town, probably like Davie-ish, maybe a little bit bigger, but like that hometown feel. And there was probably 20 something people in the room. Some of them had worked for the broker that was in the room. Some of them left, came back to the broker. Some had left and opened their own brokerages. And we're sitting in this mastermind meeting, and everybody is open, and they're sharing ideas, and they're, oh, why don't you try this, or why don't you try that? And I'm like, man, like, I don't think we would have this in Florida. Like, there's people like you guys that don't mind collaborating. It's the high level agent. It seems like in that market there were more high level agents that were serious about their business and not just I want to sell 1 or 2 houses a year and
They're
that
serious. It's
supplements
a
my
profession.
professional 9 to 5 job. They were serious real estate agents.
I wish
There
there were
was
more of us out here like that.
I wish there was too, and it made me. And this kind of what the aha moment went off. And I'm a behind the scenes guy. Like you hardly ever see me out with my face in the street, but I was realizing like I have to get my face out
You're
more
coming out more
because
now.
I know a lot of stuff. I do a lot. I've had multiple businesses. I've been in the business, I don't know, pushing 15 years almost. Like I've done everything from real estate, mortgages, title, mortgage processing, flip houses, wholesaling, hard money lending. Like I've done it all. So the wealth of knowledge that I have needs to be put out for the masses. Not because I want to make money off of it. Obviously, money is good, but because I know so much, like it doesn't help keeping it inside. Like I can help other agents get a deal across. Um,
I think there's an opportunity for you though.
what's that?
Be the starter. Be the start of the mastermind that's needed because you're exactly right. We don't mastermind enough. You know, everyone's always so busy trying to get to the next appointment, trying to close the next deal that we don't really build relationships and we don't even build relationships with our customer. Hence why statistics say that the seller that owns the property now would possibly use the same realtor that sold them the property. But guess what? They don't even remember their names because an agent will close a transaction and never call them again.
hmm
So
But I think that's it's not it's transactional based. They don't form a relationship.
we
Most
are
of my clients
transactional.
I don't deal with, like, I'm not like you. Like, you go out there and you bang the streets, and whoever wants to sell their house, Jeffrey is there for them. Like, I deal with mostly friends and family because I coach basketball and I
Mm-hmm.
do so many other things. So when I sell a house, I'm friends with the person that I
Already.
sell. So I already have that relationship. Uh, the camera guy, I sold him his house. He didn't think he could buy a house, and we can get him on camera one day and tell that story. But he didn't think he could afford what he could afford, and he
Now
actually
look,
ended up $100,000 higher than he thought.
nice,
He'll blame it on me, but his
nice.
budget wasn't what his wife wanted.
Oh God.
um,
But going back to that though, I think there's an opportunity for you to really create that mastermind that's needed among agents, especially I think black and brown ones. You know, we need to mastermind a lot more on how to get over the hump of home ownership and what do we do in situations like this, in markets like this, where prices are three times, four times what anyone can ever afford.
so I'll give you this one because I didn't really talk about it, but it's been stewing. I think we talked about it a little bit, and I was going to talk to you on the side, but since we're here, I might as well spill the beans. So the agent that hosted us in Texas, he does an event, a mastermind event, once a month, every month, and he calls it the real 1%. And it's all high performing top agents in their local market. So I was like, you know what? I want to do something like that here. And you were going to be the first guest that I wanted to have to talk about, your marketing, how you got into business, how you stay relevant in a down market, how you're when nobody else is selling. I always see Jeffrey's name on the MLS this close, on Instagram this close. So I want to do something like that.
And
And
if you knew how
then
much I beat myself up, don't you be like shocked? But continue.
and then, for you, say, hey, you know what? I know another high level agent. I know another high level agent that would be good for this. And then I want to kind of build that network of people that are high performers, that are high achievers, that don't just see real estate as a transaction. They see it as a business. They take it serious and they want to grow. They want to be successful. And they want to be the biggest name in real estate, like some of these people you see on TV. So soon come.
I'm excited.
I think that's
I'm
gonna
excited
happen.
about that. That brings me to an idea that I had. I have an event that's coming up, but one of the things I was talking about my business partner was I said, regardless if we make money from the event or we don't make money from the event, we're helping out people. So this event is basically it's going to be on how to break out of residential real estate and more break into like luxury, like bigger
I
numbers, you
saw
know.
I saw you.
And on that event, it's more about like you can do it. If this person can do it, you can do it. And so we have people that are just getting into luxury versus people that are doing luxury, just like that. And I told my business partner, I said, even if we don't make money from this event, once again, God sees our work and He knows what we're doing, so He's gonna take care of us. You know what I mean?
If you build
And
it,
I
they will
think
come.
exactly, and I think that's the start right there. Let people know that it can happen, they can do it, and I'm excited. I'm excited about the event. I'm excited about the little community that we're building right then and there because we're creating an opportunity where they can learn the tools, but also what happens after the training. What happens after this 1 day training, this 1 day seminar. So we have modules and things that we're going to be doing to help them to get to the next level. And I'm just excited about
I
that.
think that's a big thing when you do these events. I've been to big events before, and like you're there, and you're all like somebody tells
You're
you something,
pumped.
you're like, yeah, I can do this, and then you get home and the excitement wears off, and then your routine starts, and then all the stuff that you said you were going to do, you kind of forget because life takes over. But I like the fact that you guys have a follow-up plan. It's not just the event, but now you stay in touch with those people to keep them engaged and motivated. So I think
Momentum
that's
lasts only 48 hours. Then we go back to our regular old way that we used to operate business, but it takes 21 days to create a
21 days, correct,
21 days to
to create a
create
habit.
a true habit. So I'm excited about that, man.
That's
Super
cool.
excited.
Let me know when you do it because I definitely wanna pop in. So for
Definitely.
the people who don't know luxury versus regular residential, is there a big difference between the two, as
So
far as just the real estate piece? I know the other stuff is different, the clients and all the other stuff, but just real estate transaction as a whole, is
so
there much difference?
So to the average person, they'll probably say luxury is not a price point; it's an experience, and you'll hear that mob will go around. And I think definitely, I think you want to keep everyone with a white glove service. You want to provide everyone a 5-star service, but I also believe that once you reach a certain price point and you're having certain conversations with people, they want to make sure that you know exactly what you're doing. Just like the person at $500 or $200,000, you're dealing with one of their biggest assets. I believe when you get to the higher price point, they want to know that they're handling their business when it comes to their job, their family, whatever they have going on, and you're handling your business. So, do you know the marketing? Do you know who's coming in? Do you know where the people are coming from? Do you understand how to explain their home? What's going on with their home? I toured a $17 million property the other day, and the lady was telling me, oh, these plants came from here, the art came from there, the bamboo came from here, and the stuff came from there. And she knew who the designers were. And why was that important? That means like when I go to show her property, when the day does come, she wants to make sure that I highlight that this person and that person was involved in getting her property the way it looks like today. So I think what happens is that if you truly want to master something, you have to study your craft. You have to know what you're doing. You need to know the Miele appliances. You need to know the floors. You need to know the wood. You need to know whatever you're dealing with. You need to know that. And I think what happens a lot of times, the agent that wants to do investments, or the agent that wants to do foreclosures, or the agent that wants to do commercial, they want to do it, but they don't spend a lot of time practicing their craft. And I think that's what makes, once again, the 80/20 rule so valuable, is that if you truly want to work at a higher price point, you want to service more customers, you have to know who you're dealing with, what do they like, what do they not like, and how to service them to the best of your capabilities.
I think when you start playing in that market, they're not the 200,000 buyer who knows Ray Ray and Joseph from down the street. Like, they know high
People.
level stuff. They
Yeah.
know people. They know designers.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm going to buy a $17 million house, I want to know, did this lady use Italian kitchen cabinets?
Mm-hmm.
Did she use this designer to design this stuff? And it doesn't necessarily have to be expensive with the stuff that they're putting in. It's just somebody that they know. Maybe it's a famous designer designed their house.
Exactly.
That's a selling point. And I think maybe I'm crazy, but it would seem like it's common sense. If this is what I'm doing, I want to know everything about this house. If I'm selling a house, I want to know everything about the house. When I sell a house, the easiest house to sell is my own house. I've sold my house 3-4 times.
Mm-hmm.
That's the easiest house because I
Mm-hmm.
live in it every day. I know every single detail about it. So if people took that same mentality from their house, selling their house, to selling Becky's house or John's house down the street, they would be able to sell it a lot better, a lot faster, because you take pride
Yeah.
in what you're doing, not just here for a check, put on the MLS, and hope everything goes according to plan.
Exactly. And I can definitely say that sales is definitely sales. So, like, for example, if you are dealing with a $200,000 price point, that customer probably wants you to know what you're doing as well. They want to know, where are the customers coming from? How are you going to market, and how are you going to advertise my property? So, I think just knowing your craft and whatever it is, I
Correct.
just took a listing, to be honest with you. We got it sold in just 24 hours. But funny thing is that the
Y'all
agent
hear
that
that plug?
referred me,
24 hours.
God is good, y'all. The agent that referred me to the person, she says, Jeff, I don't do condominiums. It's not what I do. She's a ranch style home type of specialist. She understands her market. She understands what she does. And she referred me the customer because she says, hey, I probably would do this guy a injustice by trying to sell this home. And I don't do condominiums. I don't understand anything of what's happening with these changes with the condos. And I won't be able to service this person. And I think when we understand that as professionals, we truly step in our shoes.
That's the difference between a professional and a real estate agent.
Or
A
an amateur.
professional knows what they can and can't do. A real estate agent wants a check. I sold a restaurant for a friend of mine. I sold her house too. And she's like, hey, I have a restaurant. You guys might even know it, Dairies in Miramar. I sold that. No clue about commercial. Absolutely none. So what did I do? I could have been a real estate agent and said, I'm going to sell it and I'm going to figure it out on the way, and fumble the bag and mess up for the client. So I said, no. I called a friend who owns a brokerage, commercial.
That's commercial.
I said, hey, I need help with this. You want to partner on it? I don't care. You tell me what you want out the deal, I'll pay you. But you know what? What I paid him and what he taught me was more than worth, what he taught me was worth more than what I paid him.
I think also not just, I partner up a lot. I love partners. And I think not just what they actually teach you, but I think also taking the burden off of you.
Correct.
So for example, I'm under contract on a deal right now. I'm under contract on a couple of commercial deals right now. And one of them is probably about 9 million and the other one's about 3.5. And I've partnered up with my good friend that does commercial. He's actually one of my speakers at my event. But I just let him do everything. I come in where you need me to come in, and I let you do everything. And I believe that it takes the burden off of me the day that we do close. It's like a bonus for me.
Correct.
But it provides me the opportunity to say, hey, this guy knows his craft. Let me go find more commercial opportunities. and let me go and see how we can continue to help each other out and help each other grow. One of the commission checks on the deal is going to be $176,000. And we sold the property in probably about 3 weeks. And did I not say for a quick second that I probably could have done it myself? But then I humbled myself and said once again, like, it's not
You
my
did.
craft. It probably wouldn't have
Correct.
worked out like that.
Exactly.
It would not have worked out like
You'd
that.
probably still be on the market searching for a
Exactly,
buyer.
exactly. So, I wish more professionals would stay in their lanes. I wish more professionals would study their craft, and I wish more professionals will remain professionals at the end at the end of the day. I believe I'm a powerful listing agent. I affirm that every single day. I say sellers are looking for me daily. I'm looking for my next 5, 6, 7 listings. I want to list at least 10 properties a month or more, and I truly operate in that space. And I operate in that space so abundantly that I don't look, and I was just telling one of my colleagues that I don't look for opportunities where they're talking about buyers, and I don't look to understand what's happening with hometown heroes, and I don't look to understand what's going on with rates and
It's not
stuff
your
like that.
niche.
It doesn't align with me. It
Right.
truly doesn't align with me. And what aligns with me is where's the next seller's event? Where's the next listing training? Where's the next person that's doing what I want to do? So I can go collaborate with them and I can go learn how to master my craft, and that's really what I focus on. And one of my good friends the other day, he texted me a property and he's like, "Can you bring me a buyer?" And I was like, "Absolutely not." Like absolutely not. It's not gonna happen. Like, why would you try me like that? You know what I mean? Like, but I truly want to, I really want to be the best that I could be at what I do and allow others to be the best at what they can do. Hence why I refer buyers away. I just gave a buyer away to an agent. I worked this deal with her. They ended up using a grant program to purchase the property, and I looked at the altar the day of closing. It was like 4 different grants, and I was like, what in the world? So I said, hey, I got a buyer. The buyer wants a grant. You understand grants. Can you work with this buyer? Gave them off and let them go deal with them. And guess what? I'm going to have a bonus 25, 30% referral check coming to me hopefully in the next 2 to 3 months. And I'll be excited about that.
So, speaking of professionalism, and we'll wrap this up pretty soon. We got some more people that want to speak.
Excited to have them on.
Do you think the barrier of entry to be a real estate agent is too low?
I don't think so. I really don't.
Wow.
I really don't. I think anything that someone wants, they will go after. So, a little bit about me, you may not know. I don't think back when we connected earlier last year, I was in school. So, I'm a full time college student right now. I'm in law school and I am doing the homework. I'm studying. I'm writing the documents and I'm figuring the stuff out and I'm working towards it. But I also believe that we work towards our real estate license. We studied, we went to class, we did the cram courses, we paid the dues. So I say that what happens is that people believe that it's so easy to make money and they're disappointed that when they get in and what they've seen on HGTV and what they've seen their friends driving and wearing and doing, they thought that they can come in and do the same thing. But they didn't understand the grit that their friend had. They didn't understand the nights that their friend worked. They didn't understand the mornings. They didn't understand the conversation. They didn't understand the text message that they were having with their customers at 10, 11 o'clock at night. The work that they put in to get them to where they were at today. And that's what I think is the problem. So I believe that anything, to be a doctor, once you become a doctor, you're probably going to say it's a piece of cake. Once you become a school teacher, you're probably going to say it's a piece of cake.
Years to become a doctor, not 45 hours.
It does, but hence that's why our turnover rate is so high because it's not that it's because let's say for example, if I was determined to be a real estate professional, I probably would have went to school and done it for 4 years. I would have done it for 3 years. We need realtors regardless, and we know realtors that are out there that have gone to school and they got their real estate license through school. They didn't get it through the 48 5-hour course. They didn't get it through the 75-hour course, whatever the course is, 63 hours, but let's just say like if all of us went ahead and did that, all 60,000 people went and did that, I think the numbers would still be the same because people still don't do the work. I know attorneys that are broke. I know attorneys that make no money. Yeah. I know attorneys that are doing other stuff because being an attorney didn't work out for them. But guess what? They went to school for 8, 9, 10 years, so on. So what I think is what happens is in conclusion is that as professionals, once again, using this key word for today, is that we need to understand that whatever we want, and people's wants are different. I may want to make $1 million. You may want to make $200,000. And I think that's where a level that we have to also respect people as well, because your wants may not be my wants. Hence, my hustle may not be the same as your hustle. But I think also what happens is that we have to not look on, and I said this in my Instagram earlier today, let's not look upon other people of what they're doing and their success. Let's look at our own success within ourselves and what we want out of life and allow that to flourish us in whatever way we want to, flourish.
So do you think then there may be better job the schools could do to prepare students for the real world? Because I'll give you an
Great
example.
question.
I went to school to be a chef,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll never forget this. And this was, I think I was maybe 18 years old. So we're talking almost 30 years ago.
Not to age yourself.
Went to culinary school. I'm working at a 4-star resort in school, and I think I can cook. So one day the chef comes to me and he goes, "Hey, I want you to make a special tonight for the restaurant." So I was like, "Cool, no problem." Made the special. I thought it was great. Go to the chef's table, put it down. All the servers are there, everybody. He tastes it. And he looks, he goes, "What is this shit?" In front of the whole entire kitchen staff. I'm 17, 18 years old. I'll never forget this. But school didn't teach me to be a chef. They taught me how to follow a recipe.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't teach me creativity. It didn't
Mm-hmm.
teach me how to work the line. It
Mm-hmm.
didn't teach me how to become a chef. School gives you like the basic, and I feel like real estate gives you how to read a contract. This is what RESPA is. It gives you the basic, but it doesn't tell you about marketing. It doesn't tell you about negotiation. It doesn't tell you the real life applications of the license you're trying to get. So if you don't think the course should be longer, do you think school should do a better job
On educating their people.
preparing for the real world?
I think a conversation could be like that, but what you did was you pretty much just answered the question right there. You just said cooking school, the culinary school, did not teach you how to go out there and be the best chef. It taught you the fundamentals. Hence the same thing for real estate. So there's probably plenty of chefs out there that said, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be the best chef. I'm going to be on all these TV shows. And guess what? They're probably flipping burgers at McDonald's right now. Who knows, you know?
Correct.
So I think every professional, there's always, once again, that 80-20 rule, which we spoke about earlier. I think what happens is that we need to understand what we want to do. Okay, so for example, I'm a cold caller. I'm a massively cold caller, but what happens is I've tried everything else. I've tried the marketing, I've tried the door knocking, I've tried the postcards, I've tried the running the ads, and I say I enjoy being on the phones. I sit at my house all day and I get on the phones, I create opportunities, old clients, new clients. So I think we need to understand what we want to do, what we enjoy doing, and that's what we need to really work on. Now, when it comes to the schooling, I think we need to provide the fundamentals of what needs to go. But I think what happens is going back to the media. The media needs to not showcase real estate to be the lifestyle that it is. Hence, for the reason for the lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
They were believing that we were making way too much money. But when you understand that you're paying a videographer $2,400, you're paying this, you're paying that. We really don't make any money.
Everybody sees the big
Exactly.
number, they don't see the bottom line.
Exactly. How do we get you to the closing table? How do we get your property sold? We're in a buyer's market right now where days on market is 50, 60, 90 days. Therefore, more marketing is needed, more conversations are needed, more ads are needed. So I think what social media needs to stop doing, or the media period needs to stop doing, is stop glorifying real estate to be like this thing that anyone can get into at the bare minimum.
And we'll leave on that mic drop moment right there. Jeffrey, it was a pleasure. Long time coming, but I'm glad it happened.
Hey, excited to be here.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.